Caffeinated Craft Mamas podcast. My podcast all about my knitting, crocheting, and bookish life in Southwest Missouri, where I live with my partner Richard, our 3 kids, and our dog. It has been like 2 months. I'm so happy to be back. I actually have already recorded this podcast once, and then I accidentally had a pop-up come up while I was editing. I just hit yes, I didn't even read it, and the video was gone. So I had to re-record. I went out of town, we had Thanksgiving, so here I am. All right, if you would like to follow me on social media, please feel free to do so. I'm really only active over on Instagram. I am the caffeinated_craft_mama. You can also find me over on Ravelry. I am at Tamra Melton 2011. I don't use Ravelry very much, but I need to get better at it. I used to be really good at using it, and then I just kind of quit. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 or 8, one of those finished objects to talk about, most of which I just have photos because they've either already been gifted or they are in my gift box and I did not climb up there to get them down. We also have several whips to talk about and some future knits and a book. So we're just gonna go with it. You can tell I haven't podcasted in a long time, huh? I have a lot of life and junk too. Life's been crazy busy, as happens during this time of year. This is my favorite time of year, but this is also the busiest time of year for my family. So, okay, so I'm just gonna read some of these off. I don't have all of these with me. Like I said, most of these have already been gifted. A couple of them I don't even have photos of. So my mom's birthday socks, which was the Cascade Heritage yarn, print number 90, I gifted to her. Totally forgot to take a picture, but they fit and she liked them, so yay. Next up are my sister's birthday socks. I do have a photo of these. The yarn, the main body of the yarn is Mint Rain yarn. It's from Deep Stash. It was a Diagon Alley colorway. And then the toes and cuffs are $3.98 Yarn Co., which isn't available anymore. And that was from Deep Stash as well. They used to be a yarn store out in Branson. They were knit on 60 stitches on US size 0 needles. I have really been enjoying knitting socks on US size 0s. Never thought I would, but I actually really like them. So, all right. Next up is Richard's first pair of Christmas socks. As several of you know, and if you've watched this podcast before, Richard, my partner, hoards hand knit socks, likes to steal mine. He stole another pair since I've recorded the podcast last. I purposely make my socks too small so he can't get them over his heel because otherwise he will wear them. So this is a pair of Christmas socks for him. I'm just going to knit as many pair of socks for him before Christmas as I can, and I will wrap them and he will open them and probably love them. So, excuse me. This yarn was gifted to me without a ball band. I had a friend who cleaned out her yarn stash when she has had to take a break from knitting, gave me a bunch of the yarn. The feel of it makes me think of Patton's Kroy. So I'm like 90% sure it's a Patton's Kroy of some kind. And oh my goodness, guys, these socks gave me a headache. So the way the yarn came was they were in 2 balls. Now, one ball was significantly smaller than the other. If someone, i.e. Tamra, was thinking I should have started with the smaller ball, knit the sock as far as I could, and then knit the other sock, the second sock, with the bigger ball. Okay, well, that's not what I did. I knit an entire sock, a full leg, like, because I do 40 rows for him on the leg and a 20 row cuff typically, bound it off, knit the second sock, got to the leg and realized I've got like 4 grams left. Crap. So I ended up finishing the second sock, doing, I think, a 10 row leg and like a 15 row cuff, going back, picking up stitches, ripping out the other sock so I could do a 10 row leg and a 15 row cuff. So they're going to be shorties. He'll still wear them. He typically likes his Pat and Croy socks to be longer because he thinks of those as winter socks. He wears hand knit socks all year round. He looks at more like Felici as like his summer socks and Patton's Croy as his winter socks. He's very picky. So those are done. The next two finished objects I actually have on hand. They're actually crocheted objects. First off, these are both patterns by Lucinda of Swish and Stitch. You can find this pattern on her Instagram page and on Lion Brand. It's the Lord of the Rings blanket. She's almost done releasing these. So here is the Gandalf block. I'm very proud of it. Ends are all woven in, guys. I also have Sam's block. So I was doing really good. I also have Frodo's block finished. I don't know if I showed it, so I'll pop a photo in here. Those are the three I have done so far. I was doing really well prior to going on my trip, which we'll talk about at the end of the episode. But I went on a trip, and prior to that, I was knitting 5 to 10 rows, or knitting, listen to me, crocheting 5 to 10 rows on that blanket a day, on a blanket square. And I was doing really good. I was making a ton of progress. And then I went on my trip, and I didn't take the squares with me, and I haven't touched it since. So obviously the blanket is not going to be done like by December 23rd like I wanted it to. Dawson knew that there was a high likelihood the blanket would not be done. I will get it to him when I can. He doesn't care. He's a freshman in college. He'll love it when I get it to him. So we have those. I'm really excited about that blanket and really proud of it so far. And I'll just get it done when I get it done. It kills my hand to work on for more than 15, 20 minutes. So, okay, next up is a barley hat and flax sweater. I'll pop a photo in here for my cousin Brandy. She is having a baby in February. Originally, they were not finding out what they were having. Then they were finding out and they weren't telling what they were having. And then now everybody knows. Funny how that works sometimes. She's having a little girl. I originally picked this when I didn't know the gender, but I thought they turned out really cute. They are the, I think, 12 to 18th month size. Whew. You can tell I haven't podcasted in a while. I'm getting all tongue-tied. They are the 12 to 18 month size. It is knit out of some Knit Picks Hawthorne. I don't remember the colorway. My mom bought 2 skeins of it to knit some socks for a friend of hers and ended up ordering way too much. So when I found out Brandy was having a baby, I asked if I could have that yarn. She said sure, and I was able to knit the sweater and the hat. And Brandy really liked them. Okay, up next. I don't have pictures of the hats, but I knit 2 more barley hats, one an adult size and one a child size, out of some Knit Picks Felici for a mommy baby set for my best friend Melissa, who's having a baby in February as well. And I also knit her a blanket. I'll post a picture of the blanket in here. I got to go see Melissa. She was having a baby shower in Goshen, Indiana. For those of you who don't know, Melissa is my childhood best friend. She moved back to Missouri, we reconnected, and then she moved away again, and we were able to stay in touch thanks to Zoom. And she was having a baby shower in Goshen, Indiana. So it's about 9 hours for both of us, car ride. And I was telling my mom that they were having it the weekend before Thanksgiving. Well, our school is out the whole week of Thanksgiving, and my mom's like, hey, let's go. So we got to go to Goshen, Indiana, and I got to see my bestie for the first time in 2 years. I'll pop some photos in here of us. That was part of what my life in junk was, but I can talk about it now. It was great. I was so grateful to get to go and to get to see her and celebrate her and baby Elle. They are not finding out what they are having. And it was just it was good to give her a hug, to give Justin a hug. Justin and William really clicked. I've got some pictures of Justin helping him play baseball in the backyard. We had gorgeous weather. It was just so much fun. And thankfully, my kids, even with all their sensory issues, are really good travelers. So it was just great. I was over the moon excited, if you can't tell. And while I was on that trip, I was able to finish my sister's Christmas socks. I'll pop a photo in here of those. I got this yarn from, this is Hobbii Sock Yarn, their Christmas sock yarn in Christmas Sparkle. I don't know the colorway number. I finished these while I was on the trip, and they went into the gift box to go into her advent calendar. I also finished my mom's best friend Holly's socks. Again, I will pop a photo in here because they are in her advent calendar. And funnily enough, I got a text from her this morning. She opened those socks today. So she was very excited to get them and to be able to wear them. And they were really well received. So I'm really excited about that. Whew, that's all of our finished objects. My goodness. I got a lot done in 60 days. Okay. So I have let's just count. I have 4 whips to talk about, and I have a frog to talk about. That the pattern has won the battle. I will win the war. We will talk about that in a minute. I'm so frustrated. And it's nothing to do with the pattern. It's me because I'm a big baby. And then we have a book to talk about. So we will talk about my crochet whip first. You will all be so surprised. It's another Lord of the Rings block. This is Boromir. I got a couple rows done. What I was originally doing was the first 10 rows I would do in one day, and then I could do 5 rows a day after that until I got the block done. Again, I haven't touched this in weeks. In fact, while I am editing Tamara, you should be crocheting on this block. Because once I get into that groove of doing 5 rows a day, it's not that hard for me to finish these blocks. I can get them done pretty quickly. And I really would like to get this blanket to him as quickly as I can. He's very crochet worthy. I crocheted him a Doctor Who blanket several years ago, and he used it all the time. So I really think he's going to enjoy this. Alrighty, let's see. Next, after that, oh, I have another finished object, guys. I finished my gingerbread Christmas socks, so I'll pop a photo in here. These are West Yorkshire Spinners and Gingerbread with Cascade Heritage Christmas Red and Cascade Heritage Christmas Green as the toes and cuffs. Melissa and I knit matching pairs. We also went ahead and ordered like 4 skeins of West Yorkshire Spinners. She was able to find someone on Etsy who would ship it to us for pretty cheap. So we ordered 100 gram skeins and split them, because we can each, if we do different toes, heels, and cuffs, we can each get a pair of socks out of 50 grams, like a full length pair of socks. So I have like 4 more pairs of Christmas socks to knit. It's very exciting. Sorry, that was a little weird. Okay, so that was another finished object that I forgot about. Because these are notes from the original podcast that deleted itself, so I'm having to like change things up. All right, so my next work in progress is in a bag, in a bag sewn by me. I have been sewing more bags, but I can't show them because they've all been gifted or are in the process of being gifted. So I made this. This is Knit Picks Felici. I don't know if there's a ball band in here. There is at the very bottom. Knit Picks Felici in the Good Guy colorway. This ball looks better than the other one. That's what it looks like. My yarn caker is on its last leg. It's dying. So I have got these almost through the gusset increases. I'm going to make these long socks for him. Got my Clue stitch marker there. So I'm hoping to get at least one more pair done. I've got 3 more pairs of Christmas socks that have to be done to go in Advents that need to be done in the next week or so. After that, I should just be able to focus on his. His work schedule changed, and so I have more knitting time in the evenings now. So I should be able to, if I really focus, get him at least this pair finished and at least one more pair, if not 2, in his box of Christmas stuff. Because if I really sit down and focus, I can get a pair of socks done, full length socks done in like 5 days, 4 days. Just depends on how fast I'm knitting and how much knitting time I have. Okay, so this is my last whip. I'm not going to talk about who they're for. This is a pair of Christmas socks for someone. This is the same yarn that I knit my sister's Christmas socks out of. I have a little, he's going to be hard to see. I have a little narwhal, peppermint mocha narwhal. I'll take a photo and pop him up here because he's hard to see, but he's really cute. I got him from Simply Serving, I believe. So yeah, and these needles were from my Mad Cow Mandy Advent swap partner. I have never knit on US size 0 bamboo needles. Guys, I did not realize how hard I grip my needles. I was knitting on these yesterday. Granted, I was watching the Chiefs football game, Chiefs versus Packers. We don't need to talk about it. It was an awful game. And I was like gripping these so hard I was afraid I was going to snap them. So definitely gonna have to be careful if I'm watching football and knitting on these. But I started this sock yesterday. That's what I'm talking about. If I have some significant knitting time, I can whip out some socks if I need to. So I need to get these done, and I have 2 more pairs that I want to get done. And then I will be able to just focus on Richard's socks. I have a couple of other gifts that I'm knitting, and I have like a whole stack of washcloths that I need to make. But the washcloths don't take me very long. I can get one of those done in half an hour. So yeah, I'll get done what I can get done. I was texting Gretchen on Instagram, or messaging her on Instagram. We were talking about it, and she goes, anybody that gets it late will still be glad because they're getting a handmade gift. And it's like, yes, they will. So those are living in my White Clover Studios bag. She's a local maker that I really enjoy her bags. I have 2 or 3 of them. Okay. My last whip is my Freckle Whimsy Advent Calendar socks. So from what I understand, not everybody's advent calendar are the same colors in the same order, so I'm not super worried. But if you are concerned about spoilers and you have not knit to day 3, today is the 4th. So if you have not knit to day 3, then look away. And I'm not going to show the cake, so it won't surprise, or it won't spoil anything. So this is my first sock, and they're the exact same, so I'm not going to show any different, but I have never done a stripe of day advent before, so here we are. As usual, I do my socks toe up. I did just a gray that I had in stash, and I am going to do just my normal heel flap and gusset with these. I'm not going to change to the gray for the heel flap and heel turn. I'm just going to do it in the color a day, and it'll be fine. I'm really enjoying them a lot more than I thought I would. I was talking to Amber because we both did the Mad Cow Mandy Advent swap, which I hope she does next year because I will definitely participate in that again. And I realized that like people actually make things with their Advents. And I'm sure you're all looking at me like I'm a crazy person, but I didn't realize until she asked me what we wanted to make with our Advents that like people legitimately make projects with their Advents as they open them. I've always just taken an Advent and put it in a bag to put in a scrappy blanket for later. It never dawned on me that people actually use these to make things. Like, duh. But I don't know why. It just like smacked me in the face when she said that. And I was like, oh, people actually do that, don't they? Duh. If you can't tell, life's just been life. And I've just been crazy busy. So I think those are all the WIPs that I have. I did have to frog something, and I'll pop a photo in of it here. I attempted to knit a pair of socks, and the pattern is written cuff down. I tried to knit them toe up. I knit them too long. Got all the way to the heel turn, got the heel turned, was doing the cuff, and realized they were half an inch too long. I also wasn't in love with how the color work was laying. I think I'm going to need to do some 9-inch circulars to help with my color work, because I was having problems with my ladders. They were really wrinkly, and even if I would like turn the sock and like pull on it, I know blocking would have helped some, but it was still going to be noticeable, and that bugged me. So I was totally okay with frogging it. I will try again. The yarn is the green is some that I bought to do as part of my Ariana cardigan, Christmas cardigan. That's the Grinch green I was talking about. And then the red color is actually the Grinch yarn from Bad Wolf Girl Studios that she had several years ago. So I thought they were a fun combination, and they look really good together. I really like how it looks. I just think those 9-inch circulars are going to make the difference for me. 9-inch circulars really hurt my hands, probably because I'm realizing, like I said, with those wooden needles, how tightly I grip my needles. So I'm hoping if maybe I can learn to relax and chill out a little bit. Me chill out, that's funny. But if I can figure out how to relax my hands a little bit, then maybe I can get those to look the way that I want them to. The pattern is Candy Cane Lane Socks by the Crazy Sock Lady, Kay. The pattern's really well written. It's just written for cuff down instead of toe up, and I just misjudged how many rows I needed to do. So that's okay. No big deal. You live and you learn. So that's why I said they have won the battle, but I will win the war, because I will be giving those to the person they're supposed to go to next year, and I will have a matching pair, because this person and I typically have matching Christmas socks, and that's important to me for some odd reason. Okay, let's see. So future knits. I have 3 pairs of Christmas socks left that I need to knit, a pair of mittens that I need to knit. I have a cowl that I need to knit. I am planning on starting my Christmas Ariana cardigan in January. And I'm going to break up the granny squares and half granny squares to how many I need to do a month, so that I can be putting the sweater together in September. I am going back to work, so I want to make sure that I have plenty of time to finish this cardigan so that I can wear it to work next year. And I typically am one of those people that in January I get a little down because the holidays are over. So I thought maybe this would give me a little something to look forward to and give me a little bit more of that holiday spirit and cheer that I love about this time of year. So yeah, we're working on that. Tons of washcloths. I think I have 18 I need to make, 20 I need to make. 20? So not as many as I did, but still quite a few. Again, they take me half an hour. If I do one a day from now until I need to wrap all my gifts, I should be able to get them done. Obviously, Dawson's blanket, keeping up with my Advent, and yeah, that's about it. Let's see. I do have one book to talk about. I will pop a photo in here. It is called Tie Me Not by Allie Brahms. It is a paranormal romance. It is a cute story and a fun read. I have already read this book twice. It is a paranormal romance in the sense that the main character is an assistant to a Chinese ghost matchmaker. And it has to do with like Chinese culture and their belief that if someone passes away and they are not married, that they should be married in the afterlife, and like red strings of fate and all that kind of stuff. It was a really, really good read. I really enjoyed it. So, like I said, I've already read it twice. And I probably in the new year will read it again a third time. So, yeah, reading plans. I am going to bite the bullet and read the second Crescent City book. A lot of you know I have been waiting to read that. So, with the new book coming out in January, I will be ready to go. I had contemplated reading Throne of Glass. I'm still on the fence. I never have, okay. I read part of them. I read the first two, got a spoiler online, got really angry about said spoiler, and just decided I was going to abandon the series. So that's what I did. I'm considering trying to read them next year, like April, May-ish, just so I can say I've read them. I don't know that there'll be a series that I go back to every year like I do ACOTAR and Crescent City, but I feel like I at least need to read them once. So we'll see what ends up happening. You guys know me. If I'm not enjoying a book, I'm going to put it down. That's just that. If I'm not in the headspace for a book, I will put it down. I have already been told by multiple people who I know watch this podcast not to read Fourth Wing. When Fourth Wing came out, one of my friends was reading it and she sent me a message and she's like, dude, don't even try. She's like, you're not going to be able to do it. They all know I can't handle cliffhangers. I can't handle all that kind of stuff. And I've been getting messages about the new book too. Don't even start it yet. Wait until the third book comes out. So we'll see how long it takes me to jump on that bandwagon. But I just thought it was funny. People were messaging me and they're like, just don't. So I know I would enjoy it, but I am going to take the advice of my friends who know me so well. Okay, so let's see. Life and junk. Got to see my bestie. We've talked about that. We put our tree up. So I'll pop a photo in here. I actually got a photo of all 5 of us where we're all 5 looking at the camera and nobody has their tongue sticking out, nobody's eyes are crossed, and we all semi-look happy. I will pop that in here too. That is a very rare thing, to get a photo of all of us looking at the camera at the same time. I need a selfie stick, to be honest with you, because my arms are super short, and so when I was trying to take that photo, it was really difficult to get us all in the same picture. And I torture my children. They call it torture. I make them listen to the Michael Bublé Christmas album while we put up the tree, and I hadn't turned it on when we started to put up the tree, and I actually got in trouble from William because he was like, Mommy, we need Michael Bubble. That's what he calls him. So we turned on Michael Bubble and put up our Christmas decorations. So we did that, and we've started all our Christmas movies. We love Christmas movies. So far, we've watched Naughty 9, which is on Disney Plus. It was a cute movie. It was one Jade wanted to watch, and it's rare for Jade to want to watch a new movie, so we were all pretty excited about that. We have watched the Grinch, the one with Benedict Cumberbatch as the voice of the Grinch. We have also watched the original Home Alone, which is one of Jade's favorite movies. So yeah, we've gotten into the Christmas movie watching spirit, and Richard has started a new shift at work. So he is now in the evening shift. I have taken on a part-time job that starts in January. I am going to be tutoring a couple of evenings a week for my mom's school. I will be tutoring reading for 2nd graders. I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be a fun opportunity. So it's going to be lots happened around here. Lots of fun things. So it's been good. William's having a bit of a struggle with the transition to Daddy working evenings, but we'll get through it. He just has a hard time with change, and he loves his daddy. There's nothing wrong with the fact that he's bummed that Daddy's not here. I love that they have that relationship, that they're so close, that he misses him when he's gone. I did not end up doing Vlogmas, as you can tell. I'm doing good to record a podcast, but that's okay. One of these days, I will be organized enough and have an interesting enough life to try to do Vlogmas. Honestly, we don't do anything fun. Like, we're kind of boring. We stay home a lot. So even if I ever did Vlogmas, it would probably be weekly vlogs. But just wasn't in the cards this year, and that's okay. Yeah, I think at this point I'm just rambling. We are going to try to go to the St. Louis Zoo one more time because they are doing Christmas lights at the zoo, and so we wanted to be able to go and do that. I don't know what else we're gonna do. We'll drive around, look at Christmas lights. My birthday is on the 20th. So that is what I ask for every year for my birthday from my kids, is we ride in my car and we listen to Christmas music, and Daddy buys me a peppermint mocha coffee and no one is allowed to complain. That is what I ask for every year. And every year that's what I get. So we'll go do some Christmas lights at a local drive-through park, and we will go do a neighborhood puts on a really big, like, they have their own radio station that you can cue into. It's all set to music. We'll go by and do those. And yeah, everything else is just Christmas time. And I probably won't record again until January. So I will just plan on seeing you guys in the new year. I will have lots to show you. And I think in the new year, in January, we will do a rundown of my stash. I did one somewhat at the beginning of the year. I don't think my stash has gone down as much as I had wanted it to. I have been adding to it more than I realized. So we're going to try again for next year. Fingers crossed that we're not going to buy as much yarn. That's okay. Yarn makes me happy, and sometimes you just need emotional support yarn. You just do. So anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. I will see you guys in January. I hope that your holidays are full of love and cheer, whatever holiday you celebrate, and I will see you guys in the new year. Love you. Bye.